All right, let's dive into some pretty interesting financial news today. We're looking at Star Health and Allied Insurance Company Ltd. Their Q2 FY25 results just came out. That's October 29th, 2024, for those keeping track at home. We've got their press release, the official filings, even their investor presentation, all fresh off the presses. So consider this your personalized cheat sheet to the really interesting parts of this financial snapshot, of India's largest retail health insurer.
It's really a fascinating time for them, especially because they seem to be thriving while a lot of other insurers are having a tough time.
Exactly. They're practically popping champagne with this profit after tax. That's PEAT, hitting a whopping INR 430 crore. To put that into perspective, that's over $500 million US dollars profit, and that's just in the first half of their fiscal year. So before we even get into the nitty-gritty, I gotta ask, what's their secret sauce? What are they doing that others aren't?
Well, one key ingredient is definitely their impressive growth. Their gross written premium, GWP. Think of it as the total value of all the premiums they've collected. That jumped a massive 17.5% compared to the same period last year, reaching INR 7,847 crore. And here's the kicker. They're actually growing faster than the entire health insurance market in India.
So it's not just about riding the wave, they're actually creating their own momentum. And looking at their investor presentation, it really highlights their market dominance, especially in retail health insurance. They've got a 32% share of the entire retail market. And get this, they hold a whopping 55.3% share among standalone health insurers, the SAIs.
So that means over half the people buying health insurance in India, from companies that specialize only in health coverage, they're choosing Star Health. That's a huge vote of confidence from customers.
Absolutely. And they're not just relying on these old school methods. Yeah, they've got this huge network of over 742,000 agents, which is mind blowing. But they're also killing it in the digital space.
Yeah, they've seen a 41% surge in new business coming from digital channels. In just this first half of their fiscal year, over 7.4 million downloads of their customer app, and 71% of premiums are now collected digitally. So it's clear they're blending the best of both worlds, that personal touch with the ease of technology.
Speaking of reaching people, they seem to have a knack for understanding exactly what customers need. Their product portfolio isn't just this generic one-size-fits-all approach.
It's true. They've really carved out a niche by offering these specialized products. You'll find plans tailored for senior citizens, for women, people with diabetes, cardiac conditions, even cancer-specific coverage.
So they're not just going after the broadest market, they're getting really specific. What's the advantage of that approach?
Well, it's brilliant, really. By focusing on these specific needs, they're attracting customers who might feel overlooked by these larger insurers. Think about it. If you have a particular health concern, finding a plan that caters to that makes you feel seen, makes you feel understood. It builds loyalty. Plus, for Star Health, it helps them manage risk more effectively by focusing on these specific segments.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And, when you're dealing with insurance, nothing builds trust like a smooth claims experience. That's when you really need your insurer to have your back.
Absolutely. And Star Health seems to get that. Since they started, they've settled over 11.6 million claims. That's a staggering number. But what really sets them apart is their reputation for this fast and efficient claims processing.
So no one's stuck waiting forever to get their claim settled. That must be a huge relief for customers, knowing they can rely on Star Health when they need them most.
It's a win-win. Happy customers lead to positive word of mouth, which is priceless for any business.
All right, so we've talked about their profit surge, their market dominance, their really smart product strategy, and their commitment to customer satisfaction. But before we go any further, let's take a moment to zoom in on their overall financial health.
Yeah, beyond those profit numbers, there are some really positive signs. Their solvency ratio, a key indicator of financial strength, stands at a very healthy 2.24 times, well above the regulatory requirement. To put that in simple terms, it means they have way more assets than liabilities, a really good buffer to absorb any potential losses.
So they're not just about making quick profits, they're building a sustainable business for the long haul.
Absolutely. And it shows in their focus on keeping costs under control. Their operating expense ratio has improved to 15.6%, which basically tells us they're managing their resources efficiently.
That's a really reassuring sign for anyone considering them, whether you're a potential customer or even an investor. But hold on, there's one thing we can't ignore. Their filings mentioned a cybersecurity incident back in August 2024. That's got to be a concern for any company dealing with sensitive customer data.
Absolutely. Cybersecurity is a major issue these days, and these incidents can have really serious consequences. However, To their credit, Star Health has been very transparent about it. They immediately brought in experts to investigate, reported it to the authorities, and are taking steps to, beef up their security.
So they're not trying to sweep it under the rug. They're acknowledging the issue and taking action to protect their customers. That goes a long way in rebuilding trust.
Transparency and accountability are crucial, especially when you're dealing with something as sensitive as, personal data.
Well, it seems like Star Health has a lot going for them. Strong financials, a smart approach to products and distribution, and a real focus on keeping their customers happy. But I'm curious, what does all this success actually mean for the average person in India looking for health insurance? We'll delve into that right after we come back, so stay with us.
So, before we get back to what all this means for you, let's dig a little deeper into how Star Health is achieving this success. Their investor presentation actually reveals some really interesting insights into their risk management strategy.
Oh, okay. I'm all ears. Risk management sounds kind of technical, though. Can you break it down for us?
Of course, think of it like this. Insurance companies are in the business of managing risk, right? They take on the risk of their policyholders getting sick or injured in exchange for those premiums. So to be successful, they need to very carefully assess and manage those risks.
Makes sense. So how is Star Health doing this differently?
Well, one way is by focusing on policies with a higher sum insured. Their data shows that a whopping 82% of their retail health policies have a sum insured of 5 lakhs or more.
So they're attracting customers who are looking for more comprehensive coverage. What's the strategy behind that?
It's actually quite clever. When you have a larger pool of policyholders with higher coverage, it spreads the risk more effectively. If one person makes a large claim, the impact is balanced out by all the other policyholders who don't make claims.
So it's not just about selling more policies, it's about selling the right kind of policies to
Mhm.
create this more stable and balanced portfolio.
Precisely. It's a sign of disciplined underwriting, knowing who to target and how to structure those offerings. And remember that impressive solvency ratio we talked about, that 2.24x.
Yeah, the one that shows they're in a strong financial position.
Exactly. That also plays a role in their risk management. Having that strong financial cushion means they're better equipped to handle these unexpected claims or market fluctuations.
It's like having a safety net both for the company and for their customers.
Exactly. It gives you, the policyholder, that peace of mind. Knowing that Star Health has the resources to pay out those claims, even in a worst-case scenario.
All right, so they're managing risk effectively, but they're also keeping costs under control, right? We talked about their operating expense ratio being pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. They're running a tight ship. That 15.6% operating expense ratio for the first half of this fiscal year means they're keeping those operational costs low, which is a major factor in their ability to offer competitive premiums.
And that's got to be a big draw for customers, getting good value for their money.
It's a delicate balance, though. They need to keep those costs down to attract customers. But they also can't compromise on the quality of their services or their ability to pay out claims.
So it seems like they've found that sweet spot, keeping both customers and shareholders happy. Their profit after tax is certainly reflecting that. That INR 430 core profit in just 6 months is nothing to sneeze at.
It's a testament to their ability to balance growth and profitability. They're not just chasing market share at any cost. They're doing it strategically, with a focus on long-term sustainability.
This is all starting to paint a picture of a company that's really firing on all cylinders.
They're certainly hitting the mark in a lot of key areas. We've talked about their risk management, their cost control, and of course, their strategic product development. But we can't forget their commitment to the customer experience, especially when it comes to claims.
Yeah, that's a make or break moment for any insurer.
Absolutely. And remember, they've settled over 11.6 million claims since they started. But it's not just about quantity, it's about the quality of that experience.
I'm guessing that's where their focus on fast and efficient claims processing comes in.
You got it. They've really streamlined the process to make it as smooth and hassle-free as possible for their policyholders. That's a huge differentiator in a market where people often dread dealing with insurance companies.
It's all about building trust and exceeding expectations. Now, before we shift gears completely, I want to circle back to their distribution strategy. We touched on their massive agent network, but we also know they're making big strides in the digital space. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure, their digital strategy is actually multifaceted. They're leveraging their customer app, online brokers, web aggregators, even partnering with banks and other financial institutions to reach a wider audience.
So it's not just about having a website or an app. It's about creating this seamless digital ecosystem.
Exactly. They're meeting their customers where they are, whether it's online, through their mobile devices, or even through those existing banking relationships.
And it's clearly paying off. Remember that 41% growth in new business from digital channels? That's a strong indicator that they're on the right track.
And the fact that they're now collecting a whopping 71% of their premiums digitally speaks volumes about the changing preferences of Indian consumers. People are embracing those digital platforms for convenience and efficiency.
It's a smart move by Star Health to not only recognize this trend, but to really lead the charge in the insurance sector.
They're definitely setting a high bar for the industry. Now, while they're ticking a lot of boxes, strong financials, strategic product development, a robust distribution network, and a focus on customer experience. Let's not forget that cybersecurity incident they faced back in August.
Right. That's a sobering reminder that even the most successful companies are vulnerable to these kinds of threats.
It's a major concern for any company handling sensitive customer data, and it's something we need to discuss in more detail. So let's shift our focus to that now. We'll explore what happened, what Star Health is doing about it, and what it means for you as a customer or potential customer.
So let's get right into it. Cybersecurity incident, Star Health earlier this year, big deal, especially for a company that handles so much sensitive customer data. Can you walk us through what happened?
Sure. So back in August 2024, Star Health detected some unauthorized access to some of their systems. They immediately launched an investigation, brought in cybersecurity experts, and reported the incident to the authorities. While the investigation is still going on, they've been really transparent about the steps they're taking, to contain the breach, enhance their security measures, and of course, protect customer data.
So they're not shying away from it. They're taking responsibility and being proactive, which is, reassuring.
Absolutely. And while no company can completely eliminate the risk of these cyber attacks, Star Health's response to this incident shows a real commitment to transparency and, continuous improvement in their security.
That's got to be a relief for their customers, knowing that, they're taking data security seriously.
It's essential these days. We entrust these companies with so much personal information, so knowing that they're actively working to protect it is crucial.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today. We've seen how Star Health is disrupting the insurance industry. With their innovative approach to products and distribution, that customer experience. But I want to zoom out a bit. Look at the bigger picture. What does Star Health's success tell us about the Indian economy as a whole?
Well, what's fascinating here is that Star Health's story isn't just about one company. It's really a reflection of these larger trends that are unfolding in India. For example, the rise of the middle class is a major factor. As more people have disposable income, they're prioritizing healthcare and financial protection.
Makes sense. Health insurance is becoming more accessible and more important to, a larger part of the population.
Exactly, and Star Health, with their focus on the retail market and their diverse range of products, are very well positioned to, cater to this growing demand.
And their specialized plans for seniors, women, people with specific health conditions also taps into this trend of individualization. People want solutions that fit their specific needs.
It's a real shift away from the one-size-fits-all approach. Consumers are more informed, they're more discerning, and companies like Star Health are responding by offering those tailored options.
And we can't forget about the impact of digitization. India's adoption of technology is really changing how people interact with businesses. And Star Health is at the forefront of this transformation in the insurance sector.
Yeah, their digital strategy is a perfect example. That user-friendly app, online platforms, partnerships with banks. It shows how companies can use technology to reach a wider audience and to provide a more convenient and efficient experience.
It's all about meeting those customers where they are and making it easier to do business with you.
Precisely. And it's not just about convenience. It's also about accessibility. Digital platforms can really help bridge the gap for people in rural areas or folks who might not have easy access to more traditional insurance services.
So Star Health's success, it's not only a win for the company and their customers, but it's potentially a really positive sign for the Indian economy as a whole.
Yeah, well, we connect this back to the big picture. A healthy and well-insured population can lead to increased productivity, economic growth, and just overall well-being.
It creates this virtuous cycle. When people feel financially secure about their health care, they're more likely to, invest in their education, start businesses, contribute to the economy.
And at a societal level, having that access to quality health care can really improve those health outcomes, reduce poverty, create a more equitable society.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Star Health's Q2 FY25 results, what key takeaways should our listener keep in mind?
I think first, the insurance industry is changing rapidly. Companies like Star Health are really leading the charge here. Innovative products, a customer-centric approach, a strong embrace of technology.
They're really setting a high bar for the industry and showing what's possible when you put the customer first and you adapt to, changing market dynamics.
Second, I think financial health matters. Star Health's strong financial performance is a result of that disciplined risk management, the cost control, and that real focus on sustainable growth.
These are things that you as a consumer or as an investor should really consider when you're making decisions about insurance or even investments.
And finally, don't underestimate cybersecurity. Incidents can happen, it's true, but it's so important to choose companies that are transparent, accountable, and proactive, about protecting your data.
So as we conclude this deep dive, we encourage you to keep exploring these topics, dig deeper into the sources, stay informed about the insurance industry, and think about how these insights can help you make your own financial decisions.
Because in the end, knowledge is power. Understanding these trends can really help you navigate the complexities of the financial world with more confidence.
Thanks for joining us on this fascinating look at Star Health and the evolving landscape of the Indian insurance market. Until next time, stay curious and keep diving deep